Hi Libra, this is Ron from Terror of the Twin Sun. We'll be reading for the July the 22nd to the July 30th sort of week and a half here now. We'll be clarifying with a number of decks doing the pyramid of Luxor for you, and this will stratify according to the week. The unconscious mind, subconscious mind, and conscious mind. We'll go ahead and start now. Libra, there's a great amount of changes happening to the way you stabilize yourself, and a new sense of balancing when it comes to your stability and how you're moving forward with your stability. You're also balancing your sense of victory with this stability, and how you're setting down a number of passions that have burnt you out up to this day. Excuse me. Also, the passions that are burning out were from you being conservative and rigid in a way in which there was a sense of joy in your conservatism. Yes, also an end to the cycle of trying to chase for some sort of stability with perhaps a Taurus, and the sort of lack of a commitment, or lack of sort of general emotional fulfillment with one particular option, and it's brought you a lot of pain. Okay, a lot of deep transformative emotional energy was needed to essentially set your mind into motion, and it caused you a lot of grief because someone was flighty. And they may have been flighty because of a great narcissism, and also because of the stability that they may or may not have provided you in terms of how far you've gone with a commitment. And they were definitely also quite grounded in a way, and slow in the way they approached you, but also going through a great transformation. This transformation dealt with the moon cycles, and this last sort of moon cycle must have been really massive for you. The full moon might have pulled out a certain amount of things from you or this person's connection. Okay? Alright. That was your pre-shuffle. Okay. Alright. Okay, the underscore of reading is the Six of Cups. You're feeling overall, from your unconscious to subconscious conscious mind, a great deal of nostalgia about the past. This has to relate to someone who was ignoring you once, but then had some sort of secret. They can keep a secret, but the secret is out. The secret is about your own magical power and how you were manifesting some sort of fate destiny about love. But there was a lack of conscious decision about this, which led to an instability in the passion that existed between you two. And there was an end vision of your emotional fulfillment, and someone gave you an offering of love, but it turned into quarrel, and eventually it turned into you becoming very analytical about the situation, in which you were able to rely on your faith to reach an ending of passion, and then a new choice to the universe. Really intense. Okay, on your unconscious mind, you're dealing with a lot of 8 energy. Okay, 8 is all about infinity, transformation, and a lot of depth. Okay, seems to me that the depth that is in your unconscious is tied to a great grounding sort of individuality that has to do with abundance, and this helps you balance between water and earth. Essentially, just different aspects of your ego self, as well as your analytical self, as well as your overall deep transformative emotional capacities. Okay, to clarify these, I will use the Spanish deck, El Gran Tarot Esoterico. Okay, Libra, my dear Libra, in your unconscious mind, you're dealing once again with depth, emotional depth that is transforming you in order to create a sense of individuality and a sense of balance within yourself. Okay? This has to do with a lack of equal give and take between your emotional side and your stability, and also with any potential partners you've had or were in contact with, significant others. Okay? There was a lack of equal give and take, and there was a person here who wasn't fair with the way they were giving love. Okay, meaning they were holding the love back. Why? Because someone was looking away, and in the situation, so like the divine masculine was looking away to look for other options, and this led you into conservation mode in terms of your emotions, because you were trying to transform that and balance that with your own sense of spiritual individuality. Okay, let's move on. So that's the unconscious mind. We'll quickly go over your unconscious mind and build a pyramid of Luxor, like I said. Ah, yes. Okay. Well, on your unconscious mind, I read this as relationships. Another 8 showed up, and it's the 8 of Swords this time, but it's in reverse. This talks about a couple who is fighting against the society around them, and the people around them, and the circumstances around them, including family, and failing at the gateway into love. Okay? But this was done mentally, and this was done through communications, and the communications have failed. Why? Because there was an emotional offer, and someone did not take it. At the same time, there was a great amount of emotional wealth here that was for somebody, and that somebody did not take an offer recently, and that created a lot of strife and quarreling overall on the mental plane. So subconsciously, your mental faculties are operating to go ahead and heal this situation, but I think you might have given up because there's a lot of strife here and a lot of opposition. And essentially, you or someone else has certainly gone into a state of meditation to find out and to choose their own self-preservation as opposed to anything. They could be on both sides. Okay. Now, on top of the deck, okay, yeah, unfortunately, I see a bit of feeling left out, and well, not really, but feeling left out, but feeling left in within you, dear Libra. That means essentially you may have been cast out of a certain type of situation, perhaps cast out of a Garden of Eden, allegorically speaking. However, it's quite dark out there, and you are in a state of darkness on the conscious self. There might be a looming sort of gloom, or a looming sort of cloudy sky over you, in which there's difficulty getting out of the general miasma, the general sort of imbalance. Okay, there's a lot of imbalance in your reading, so there needs to be some sort of way to cure this for you. I'm going to clarify these 3 cards, and once again, this position is like the subconscious mind, and this is the conscious mind on top, your higher self, or your more conscious self. Excuse me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of ego in the situation, and someone being tyrannical, being a tyrant. Okay, so the king of pentacles talks about being in power and being able to balance and give sort of commitments a chance, and like give sort of stability a chance. But because of that, they're searching for instability and acting in the lower form of masculine energy. Okay, and that is creating a lot of sort of tension in the mind between you two, as well as a lack of sort of sharing with emotions. Okay, in a sense of individuality, and this is accentuated with the Sun card here, and a sort of separation between the lovers and the moon, emotional separation, as well as a great need for consciousness, or up here, this kind of action. Okay, consciousness as well as self-serving sort of tendencies, narcissism, or perhaps being eagerly, very much stuck in the self, or in the cycles of the self. Now I need to clarify why there's so much individuality on the top side. Yeah, with the 5 of Pentacles in reverse, I sense a great deal of individuality and self-preservation of the individual. Could have to do with the Leo season coming up. Yep. Yep, okay. Interesting. Yeah, hermit mode. Hermit mode and the Seven of Pentacles, which is a type of fruition for while you go into hermit mode, and then a lack of like a sort of end goal of a commitment of types. The Ten of Pentacles in reverse shows up, and that is like sort of a general lack of uh, a lack of like an end goal of happiness, of stability that is coming up in the conscious self. Okay, so like you need to go into hermit mode and find out your truth until the end of July. And let's see here, 2 cards for clarification, especially with this hermit mode. What is this hermit looking for in the conscious, in the higher self of Libra? What is this hermit looking for? Alright, 1, 2, alright, good. So the hermit is looking for both faith as well as observation with the fox. Faith and psychological observation, in which you guys can essentially find a balance between psychological processes as well as spirituality. And that's when you go into hermit mode and hopefully can flip this so that you can find true stability instead of the Five of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, my dear Libra, I really appreciate it. Thank you again. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Hope you have a lovely day and get over this sort of feeling left out and individuality sort of thing. We are meant to be in communities. We are meant to grow together, and we are meant to have goals and ambitions reached and not like in the shadow. Okay. Yeah. So the overall energies to finish off have to do with coming into power. Coming into power. And it's not as simple as that. So coming into power and balancing the masculine and feminine energies within you and the sort of ego, and then sort of releasing any sort of self-sabotage. Okay, that's what I read for you, Libra. I really appreciate it. Thank you again.